So back in the early days when we started Drop-In Brewing, we realised we'd need more than one beer. And so I went back to my roots, my brewing roots of learning to brew in Scotland. And in the back of my mind was perhaps the idea that something other than an IPA or a pale ale or something hoppy might stand a chance of being kind of popular in the bars of Vermont. I knew it was something that we wanted on our bar. I chose a Scottish style brown ale as the basis for the beer that we intended to make. We called it Heart of Lothian. Now, Edinburgh, the city that I learned to brew and grew up near in Scotland, is the capital of Lothian County. There's a soccer team in Edinburgh called Heart of Midlothian. And there is a song by one of my favourite bands called Marillion called Heart of Lothian. And if truth be told, that's probably the main inspiration for the name. But it really is a tribute to the city of Edinburgh. It's a Scottish ale, it's brewed in the Scottish style, meaning that it has a caramel-like sweetness to it. The Scots as a race consume more candy than anyone else in Europe, certainly renowned for their sweet tooth. And the beers are definitely sweeter, or tend to be sweeter than they are south of the border. That's not to say they don't finish with a dry flavour character, as most beers that are intended to be drunk in large amounts do. This beer is brewed to have a strong caramel flavour initially, which gives the impression of true sweetness, but then it will finish super dry as well. And that means that you're going to still perhaps be a little thirsty after finishing just one, and maybe want another one as well. It's a piece of folklore that the Scots don't put many hops in the beer because hops were grown in England and they weren't going to give the Sassenachs in the south any money. That also is not necessarily true. The Scots beers are brewed to be hoppy as well as a little bit bitter. So we do have some aroma hops added to this beer. The varieties that we use are traditional English varieties, Fuggle and East Kent Goldings. For the malts, we use a heritage barley variety that grows in Scotland. I don't know of many other places in Britain or in the world where this variety is grown. It's used largely by the Scotch whisky distilleries, and the malted barley, or the barley variety, is known as Golden Promise. It's very similar to the other one, that's heritage variety that's grown in England called Maris Otter, but it is a lot more authentic in that it's actually grown in Scotland, and nearly all the Scottish breweries tend to use it. The beer itself is a brownish, dark amber colour. I'm going to pour some into this imperial pint glass here now. Again, it's been filtered for clarity and carbonated to the levels that a regular American keg beer would be carbonated to. It's very refreshing. It's got a sweet beginning, a dry finish, does taste the hops, and reminds me of Scotland.